Hello everybody and welcome to the 10th video in our series of videos on life in ancient Rome. Today we will be looking at the destruction of Pompeii and Herculaneum and the layout of Roman towns. As always, we begin our presentation with our learning outcomes, so by the end of this presentation you guys should know the layout of a Roman town. Second, you guys should know 3 features of Roman art and architecture, and finally you guys should know what happened to the cities of Pompeii and Herculaneum. We begin with a layer of the Roman town. So this is what a typical Roman town would look like, and most Roman towns would have these buildings in it. The first one and the most important place would be the Forum. So this would be the marketplace where people would meet and they would shop and get all the things they needed for their day. Another very important feature of a town would be the amphitheater. So this would be like the Colosseum in Rome, where the gladiators would fight, and would be a major source of entertainment for the people of the town. Another important entertainment feature would be the theatre. So this would be where plays would take place in the town. Also, as we discussed before, the public baths would be a massively important part of Roman life. They would go there every day. Remember, they had no running water, so if they wanted to wash or they would go there to talk with other people, they would go to the public baths. You'd also see that there were paved streets in the cities. It was in a grid pattern as well, and the city would be divided into blocks. There would also be town walls, which would be built for defence, with one main gate coming through, so that they could go to other towns. This would be a reconstruction of what the Roman Forum might look like. So this would be the marketplace where people would meet. They would also discuss things here, and it would be close to where the Roman politicians would have been meeting as well. So now we look at what Roman architecture looked like. So when we go further on in our study of history, we will see that this style of architecture becomes very popular again. 2 of the main features of Roman architecture were the round pillars. They also had rounded domes and rounded arches. One of the most famous buildings is the Pantheon, which we talked about was the temple for the gods in ancient Rome, and this is what it might look like. You'd have that rounded dome. You can see rounded arches there as well, and the pillars used to support the portico. Some of the features then of Roman art, sculptures were very prominent in Roman art. A lot of the videos we would have seen would have had sculptures of some of the leaders, especially Caesar, who you can see below, and Octavian or Augustus. So the Romans would have created these statues out of bronze and marble. Other features then of Roman art would be the mosaics. So these were made from tiny little pieces of glass or precious stones that would be on the floor. Another popular art form was the mural, which was a picture painted on a wall, and a fresco, which was a picture painted on wet plaster. One of the reasons we know so much about these things is because of the cities of Pompeii and Herculaneum. So on the 24th of August 79 CE, Mount Vesuvius erupted and it buried the 2 cities of Pompeii and Herculaneum. The people of Pompeii and Herculaneum had no idea that Vesuvius was a volcano. And actually, the word volcano comes from Roman influence. It comes from the word Vulcan, who was the Roman god of the flame and metal forgery. The reason we are able to get so much information about ancient Roman life is because of the well-preserved remains of Pompeii. It is so well preserved because the volcano erupted with such ferocity that it completely buried the town, and it really gives us snapshots on the past lives in Roman cities. A lot of our understandings of frescoes, which would never have survived that long, come from Pompeii. Um, the ancient city of Pompeii, it wasn't actually discovered until 1784, so it laid underneath the ash for 1,700 years. It wasn't discovered until King Charles III, who was wanting to build a palace in this scenic part of the country, had people go to build his palace, and they stumbled across the ruins of Pompeii. That brings us to the end of our presentation. So by now you guys should know the layout of a Roman town, so the main buildings that we talked about, how it was set out in a grid. You guys should also know three features of Roman art and architecture, whether it's the pillars, the rounded arches, the rounded domes, the murals, mosaics, and finally you guys should know what happened to Pompeii and Herculaneum. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys got something good from this video.